Good night. Have one Johnson. I God is good and God is good all the time. My name is Armin Jerry Space Divine. I'm here to give you a little short news on tonight. Um, and first we're gonna start with money watch with inflation. Now we've been talking about that for a while. Because inflation hadn't went up, went high. So more United States workers is taking on second job due to inflation wages. The inflation went up. They went up. That's why the gas is high, energy high, everything. Cost of living is high. That's why it boosts up the minimum wage. Because the living is too high. You know, so United States inflation raising ahead workers' wages. A growing numbers of Americans are taking on a second job to make ends meet. You know, they're taking on a second job because everything, cost of living is just too high. And so everyone trying to keep up with paying their bills and stuff, you know, and you got to get food, household stuff, so then you ain't got money to shop with. So we cannot help the inflation if the cost of living is so high. So many Americans is getting two jobs to make ends meet and spending where they can. And some tap into their savings account. Now, someone said they had to tap in their saving account. With pandemic, everybody had to open a saving account and start saving because ever since that happened. But now, since the cost of living is so high, a lot of people say then to start tapping into their saving account. Tapping into their saving account and getting two jobs, a second income. So the highest inflation costs of food, gas, and energy and other accessories, it's just too high. Many Americans say they don't earn enough to pay for the cost of high living. So that's why I say minimum wage have to go up. It cannot stay at $7.25. I boosted up to 11.50 or 11.25. It cannot stay to 7.25. So the high inflation costs a second job. So inflation gonna have to you're gonna have to go down on your wages because cost of living is too high to help y'all even trying to you can't even help with that economics because of the cost of living. So you're gonna have a reset if y'all don't go down on y'all inflation because everybody taking up on second job to try to make ends meet. Meaning they ain't gonna have no money to shop. To help the inflation, to help the economy. They ain't gonna be able to help if all their money is going on bills and food and etc. So economic policy institution is raising interest rate higher will increase the risk of recession or much worse outcome, than single digit inflation rates. And that's the same thing I say too. You might have to lower it because it's really too high right now. And what I see the inflation needs to lower the rates. So now we have Americans taking on two jobs, to make ends meet due to high cost of living, high inflation. It really needs to go down, because we have high energy bills, because they're dealing with the energy plants. Something is, going on with the energy plant, and then the house gas. All that is high. Paying $200 just for gas. That's more than my energy bill. So then you got high gasoline. That's high. And you have some of us working 4 and 5 and 6 days a week. And the more we going to work, the more we have to keep gas in the car. So 3, you got high cost of living with food. All that done went up. The supplies done went up. And accessory. Everything had to went up. That everyone trying to keep up with. So everyone is trying to keep up with bills and trying to keep up with food and accessories and supplies. We're trying to keep up with all that. And so a lot of Americans had to take on a second job. Because they don't have no money to shop with or do anything else but to keep up with bills. So you will have a risk of recession worse outcome than before. it will be worse than before, because before then we didn't have high energy, we didn't have a high gas, we didn't have all that high living, but now we have a high living, and you have a reset. It gonna be way worse than what it was before, so that's on that's the talk on the equation, that it's too high. It's too high. So let's talk about a man got sucked in a pool. I mean, it was just someone just running through me when I was reading this story. I'm like, just imagine seeing a man just getting sucked into a pool. I mean, he got sucked all the way down, you know, sucked all the way down. A deadly incident happened at a pool party in Israel. There was a pool party, about 50 people was there, but 6 people got in a pool, but only one got sucked in, and the other 5 suffered minor injury. So the couple who owned the house was arrested after a man got sucked into their swimming pool. Now the video from the scene showed the suck hole quicker. So that means when he must have dived in that pool, it must have sucked him out quickly. Because that's what they saw on the video. So the body of the man was sucked into the massive sinkhole that opened up at the bottom of the swimming pool. And Israel had been recovered. So the swimming pool in Israel, it has been recovered. So the couple has been arrested. You know, so so the man who was sucked into the pool that opened up the bottom of the swimming pool in Israel has been recovered. So they found the man. It took them several hours to find him, but he was dead after they found him. So the body recovered. So the rescue crew, it said it took several hours to find this man. He was 30 years old, who was declared dead after being discovered at the bottom of the pool. And it was 15-meter tunnel, and it was nearly 50 feet. That's long. So he got sucked in. He sucked all the way down, 50 feet down. So his cause of death has not been determined. So now the couple who owned the house has been released. Now remember, early on they arrested the couple, but now they released the couple, but they're under restricted condition of the house arrest for 5 days. So the homeowner had built the pool without proper lesson, without proper license. Without proper license. So one, if you're a homeowner, never build your pools on your own. And if you do it on your own, make sure you have proper license. Because they built this pool, and then they also said when they got down, when they had to suck all the water out, and as they were trying to rescue the man, the pool was already damaged. Already about to collapse. So that's why they pretty much arrest them, because the pool was already damaged. It's already seemed like we're about to collapse before they even try to try to rescue the man. And then also they built the pool and they did not have the proper license. You have to, when you building something, you have to have proper license, and the pool have to be inspected. The pool was probably damaged. And he dived in the pool and dived right into the holes. That means the pool was already damaged and already was about to collapse. So if you build a pool on your own, make sure the city come and inspect your pool. So you can make sure it's proper sealed and right and everything else. Before you have people come over and having a pool party. You don't want this kind of stuff happen, again, to no one else. And make sure you have proper license, if you do it on your own. And if you don't know how to do it properly, make sure you hire a professional, because they built this on their own, and we don't know if they had the city to inspect the pool before they even allowed to, before they even had a pool party, because anything you build, you build your house, you build a pool party, anything you build, it have to be inspected to make sure everything is good, and you also have to have the proper paperwork, you have to have license, you know, 'cause I know when I did an add-on, I had to get proper papers to do all that. When you build something and you add on, it's proper papers that you have to proceed, that you have to have, you know. So this couple here, you know, and they was arrested, but then they released them, but they under house arrest for 5 days. They on house arrest for 5 days. Because they're gonna be investigating. Because they still didn't determine this man death yet. All they know he's stuck in the pool. So they're trying to find out what happened before he got sucked in the pool. So they're still gonna be investigating. So they didn't determine his death yet. And it is still on house arrest. And if anybody, if you building a pool, if you building your house, make sure the city come inspect everything to make sure everything good. And make sure you have proper paperwork. Make sure you have a license. You don't want this to happen. I don't want this to happen to no one else. And if you feel like you cannot build it real good, have a professional do it. Because when a professional, when a contractor do it, you still, the owner still have to go to City Hall to get out. Our one still have to go to City Hall and get proper paperwork. Everything have to have proper paperwork. You have to have license on certain things. You can't just build stuff. Because if anything happen like this case here, you're gonna be accountable for it. So you have to have everything straight. Anything that you build. You know, so we talk about the economic to inflation. We talked about the economic to inflation. It's real high. It's real high. The cost of living is so high. But you have Americans taking on a second job. Taking on a second job to make ends meet. So if Americans taking on a second job to make ends meet, that means nobody don't have too much money to shop. So inflation gonna have to go down on lower their rates because all Americans won't be able to help out if they constantly have living costs is too high. Something gonna have to go down. Something gonna have to go down because the cost of living is just too high. And you won't be able to shop the way you have to shop. And when I saw the man sitting on top of the boxes, he looked rolled out because he working 2 jobs. He working 2 jobs to make ends meet. Trying to keep up with the bills, trying to keep up with food. You need supplies. It's hard. You try to keep up with everything. So that means ain't no shopping in between. Everything's you gotta keep up with your energy bill. The gas on your house in the winter, your energy bill went up because they're dealing with something with the plant. Went down or something. So we talk about the high cost of living. So that's why I had boosted up the minimum wage to $11.25. Because the cost of living is just too high. Inflation that went up on everything. And but you're gonna wind up having a reset. Worse than y'all had before if the price don't go down for the cost of living, because I might have to go up again on the minimum wage. Because the cost of living is too high. So we also talk about this man that 30 years old at a swimming pool party that he dived in the pool and dived right into a hole and got sucked in. So it was 50 people at the pool party, but only 6 people got into the pool, but only 1 got sucked in. The other 5 had suffered minor injuries. So the couple built the pool without proper paperwork and license. And then when they down there searching for the man, they already saw that the pool wasn't in good condition. It already looked like it was going to collapse, and it did collapse once that man died in the pool. But they saw that the pool was already damaged, in a collapse position. So we don't know when they built the pool that they had anyone to inspect it before they allowed anyone to get in the pool. And I advise anyone who own a house, if you building your house, if you adding on, if you building a pool, you make sure you have the city to come out and inspect it, and make sure you have proper paperwork and license, because you don't want this accident to happen to someone else that come into your house, because you will be accountable for it, so make sure everything is straight, because you don't want this to happen. I don't want this to happen to no one else, because that's kind of scary. I'm gonna I don't know how to swim, so I ain't gonna be getting nobody to pool. But I'm let my children know, y'all be careful when y'all going to swimming pools. You diving in a pool, you diving in a hole. So and make sure these pools is safe, because this is kind of scary. I mean, I was like shaking out reading it. Imagine somebody just diving in a pool, in the pool is just all damaged, and they falling in the hole. So y'all be careful with these pools. You ain't gotta worry about me, because I don't swim. But be careful. Make sure wherever pool party y'all going to, make sure the pool is straight. You know, and then the inflation, they have to lower their rates. For us to keep up with everything and try to shop at the same time. The main purpose of us shopping big. We can't shop big if we trying to keep up with bills and everything. So you're gonna have a reset. It's the prices on everything is constantly keep on being high. So you might have to go down. So this is all the short news I have for you today. And I'll see y'all in the next video. Have a blessed night.